Hey, we're going to compare fractions with the same numerator, but first we're going to go over our PDN. The PDN asks us to identify this fraction in numerical, word, and then how many equal parts there are. In this fraction, I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So my denominator will be 5. And the number of shaded parts will be my numerator, 1, 2. This fraction is 2/5. When I write that out in word form, it looks like 2/5. And the total number of equal parts, or my denominator, is 5. Here I'm going to place 2/4 on a number line. Since 4 is my denominator, I need to make 4 equal parts between 0 and 1, which means I need to draw 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. I've now made 4 equal parts. I'm going to shade in 2 of them for my numerator 2/4. Draw the line down, dot, and plot 2/4. For 3/6, here I have to make sure I remember that a proper fraction is between 0 and 1, and I draw my bar between 0 and 1. Since 6 is my denominator, I need to make 6 equal parts between 0 and 1 by making 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've now made 6 equal parts. I'll shade in 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop, drop, and plot 3/6. Today we're going to be talking about comparing fractions like yesterday, but instead of comparing fractions with like denominators, we are going to be comparing fractions with the same numerator. So we're going to look at these examples here on this page. The first example is 2/3 and 2/8. I'm going to fill in my bar models here to compare these fractions with the same numerator. First, I'm going to shade in 1/3, but since there's 2 of them, I'm going to shade in a second third. Here is 2/3. Now I'm going to compare that to 2/8, so I'm going to go down to my eighths, and I'm going to shade in 1/8, which will be right here. 1/8, 2/8. Here I can see pretty clearly that 2/3 takes up way more of my whole, since these are equivalent wholes, than 2/8. So I could say pretty clearly that 2/3 is greater than 1/8, or 2/8. I'm going to look now at the fraction 3/6 and 3/5. So I'm going to go over to my fifths first, and I'm going to make, I'm going to shade in 3/5. So I know that these fractions, just so I'm not confused with my other earlier example, I have 1/5 here. 1/5 here, 2/5. 3/5. Now I've shaded in 3/5. Now I'm going to do the same for sixths. I have 1/6 right here. It's about this long. And now I'm going to shade in a second sixth. And then a third sixth right here. I see that my 3/5 take up more of the whole than my 3/6. So I can confidently state when comparing these that 3/6 is less than 3/5. My gator always eats the greater. So if you can notice here, whenever I have the same numerator, the rule actually is that the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. This is because you've cut up your whole. The more you cut up your whole, the smaller the pieces will be. If you notice, when I have 1/2, I have these 2 large pieces right here. But when I have 1/4, I have 4 smaller pieces. Even as the fraction in the denominator gets larger and larger, each piece is smaller and there's more pieces. So again, when we compare fractions with the same numerator, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. We're now going to be ready to shoot some shots on our independent practice. Shoot your shot on your own.